You are at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Duncan Austin, who says, rant about Space Runaway Idiot on TV and movies. If you haven't seen it, though, rant about making the sheer ludicrous amount of rants that you have to make. Well, this is probably a good time for me to mention that you can always find the link to my anime list in the description of all of my main channel videos, because then you can find out what I have or haven't seen. I have not seen any of Space Runaway Idion. I'm familiar with its legacy, if you will, but haven't watched it. So the sheer ludicrous amount of rants that I have to make, it's interesting because if I do them over the course of the month, if I get a few done here and there, it's not so difficult. I mean, I just kind of block out a couple hours, do a bunch of rants. They get better view counts if I do them over the course of the month, if I release them in batches instead of all at once. But usually what ends up happening is that I end up having too much other work that I'm excited to do. I just keep putting off the rants, and then I have to do all of it on like the last few days of the month. And it can be a little bit much. Like, it's not the most fun way to spend several days doing all these rants, especially when I have to consume a lot of media for it. But at the same time, I really enjoy the like writing prompt nature of it. Like, I've always been somebody who loves doing writing prompts. Like back in school when you'd have like the daily subject you have to write about and just like come up with something to say about it. I find it's way easier to have something to say if somebody, gets the ball rolling by sort of having a starting point for you to work from. So, like, they're very easy to do for me. Like, it doesn't take any thought. Like, when I read them, I basically just go down the list. If I see something I know I can rant about, then I immediately do that one. And then if it's something that I have to, like, research, like, watch a video for, I'll, save all those for last and just do all that at once. And, it's interesting to see all this stuff that I wouldn't have watched otherwise, and then to talk about it. So, all in all, I think it's a fun project. It's even though I don't like doing it all at once at the last minute because it does kind of bog down my life for a couple days, it nonetheless is an overall enjoyable project for being something that makes as much money as it does. And it does. Like, I think I have like a really sizable portion of $15 patrons, and I can't imagine a better way that I could have obtained that. I've thought about raising the price of the rants, because I think that I don't necessarily want to always be doing 100 of them every month for the rest of my life, and I'm sure there are plenty of people who would still pay $20 for them, but I do think it would seem a bit more steep. I think fewer people would be willing to go for the tier. And right now, I need the money. Like, I need to make as much money as I possibly can in the effort to, getting my debts paid off and finally being able to sort of move on with my life and spend money freely the way that I used to be able to. So, or, even to save money for purposes other than paying off taxes. So yeah, like, overall, it's a net positive for me, and that's why I'm still doing it. Like, you all know how I am. If I wasn't enjoying it, I would have cut it a long time ago. I don't keep doing projects if I even slightly don't want to do them usually, but the rants they've remained just a pretty fun way to make a lot of money. So I see myself doing it for the foreseeable future. I might change little things about the way I do it. Right now, there are people who are gaming the system in unscrupulous fashions, and I'll have to restructure the way that the rants are implemented. But yeah, it's pretty good. And my ability to do it is just because, again, I can just talk all day. I mean, right now my throat's a little hoarse because I've recorded like 6 hours of other content today. I did a 3-hour PCP. I did 3 hours worth of OP videos that you'll see in a few days. So, it's not as though it doesn't have any physical toll if you do enough talking in a day, but I am well used to this lifestyle at this point.